You guys, today we're talking about banned books. The idea of banned books has always piqued my interest, and the term banned books doesn't always mean that the book is completely unavailable. Sometimes it refers to having limited access to or the book being challenged by specific groups. But because banning books can limit access to important stories and ideas, people often debate whether it's right to take away someone's ability to read them or have easy access to them. So let me know your thoughts and comments on banned books in the comments below. I myself definitely want to read as many of them as I can. So today I'm just gonna go over and haul a bunch of banned books that I recently purchased. I went a little bit crazy, but I wanted to own as many as possible. And these are just ones that piqued my interest and are high on my priority list. It's also important to note, depending on where you live, most bookstores and online retailers are still able to sell banned books, but the limited access and availability of these books in public settings is where the banned books have the most impact. But all the books that I just purchased have already been removed or restricted from public schools and libraries, so I just want to read them. I want to see what they're all about and why people are challenging them. I placed multiple orders from different places, so I've got some book mail and I just have some to haul, but these are in no particular order. First up, I have a box. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I did actually watch most of this TV series. I was very shocked to find out that this was a book written so long ago because it's so relevant to things that still happen. This is one of the books though that I did want to own on my shelf. I honestly had no interest in reading it before it was banned just because the show was a lot for me. I watched it in I think high school and it was hard for me to get through, so I couldn't even imagine reading the book that inspired it. It's gonna be a tough read, but it's gonna be a good read, so I had to get this one. A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. This one I know is super popular, and I'm subscribed to A Clockwork Reader, and I'm assuming that her name is based off of this book. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I immediately thought of when I picked this up. It says it's an influential nightmare vision of the future where criminals take over after dark. That sounds terrifying. It's a frightening fable about good and evil and the meaning of human freedom. A teen gang leader narrates in a fantastically innovative slang that echoes the violent intensity of youth rebelling against society. This sounds so good. And this did also have a movie adaptation. This is one that I actually do want to read soon, and then if there is an adaptation, I could watch it after. The next one I have is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. It says winner of the Nobel Prize, which is absolutely insane. Okay, bear with me here. It says, Milkman Dead was born shortly after a neighborhood eccentric hurled himself off a rooftop in a vain attempt at flight. It says we follow the milkman from his Rust Belt city to the place of his family's origin. I don't see why this one would have been challenged or banned, but that's why I want to read them. So this one I'm interested in. I also have another book by this author that I ordered, and it is The Bluest Eye. This one specifically said it was the most banned or challenged book in the state of Texas, and that's where I live, so I knew I had to pick this one up. It says a young black girl prays every day for beauty. Mocked by other children for dark skin, curly hair, and brown eyes that set her apart, she yearns for the blonde hair and blue eyes that she believes will allow her to finally fit in. It says a brilliant examination of our obsession with beauty and conformity. Oh my gosh, I did not know this was her debut novel. Now I'm even more excited. This one sounds powerful. I cannot wait to read it. This one I think I'm more excited about than Song of Solomon, but when I was going around a bookstore in Chicago, the owner said this was her favorite book of all time. So I'm glad I have both of them. I think I would read The Bluest Eye before Song of Solomon though. If you've read these, let me know. One I recently picked up, which I could not believe was on this banned list, you guys. The Diary of Anne Frank. The Diary of Anne Frank? We like studied parts of this in school. This is what I'm talking about. So many classics are now being banned and challenged, and I feel like it's crazy that they're taking them out of the curriculum. But I kid you not, we studied passages from this book when I was in school, so I can't wait to read it with fresh eyes. I'm so much older now. When I saw this on the ban list, I knew it was going to be one that I immediately purchased and read, so I had to pick up that one. The last one I just recently ordered, but I don't have in my hand yet. It says out for delivery, but it has not actually been delivered yet, is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I have heard amazing, fantastic things about this author. This will be my first book by her. It says it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. The main character's name is Lauren. She's a 15-year-old girl with a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions, and she fights for survival and gives birth to a new faith amidst chaos and anarchy. This sounds so good. I kind of want to read it right now. I'm sad it's the only one that has not been delivered yet. The reviews are amazing for it. I can't believe that this book isn't talked about more. I cannot wait to read it. But those are all of like the newer banned books that I've just purchased. I'm so glad I was able to haul these. I will go over some banned books that I currently own and now are trying to read because they were just sitting on my physical TBR shelf and now they've moved up on my priority list. Okay, I'm back with them and these are mostly the classics. There is a full extensive list of the books currently being banned or challenged, so I could put that in the description. I own a lot of those, but just to go over like the classics I own, the first one I have is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This is on my November TBR, so I still do plan to read this one this month, but the back literally says, Golding's iconic 1954 novel remains one of the greatest books ever written for young adults and an unforgettable classic for readers of any age. So why are you going to ban or challenge this? Guess we're gonna find out after I read it. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee is one of the most challenged books. This did win a Pulitzer Prize, and I read this one in school. It's the only reason I own it, but I'm excited to reread it. Compassionate, dramatic, and deeply moving, To Kill a Mockingbird takes readers to the roots of human behavior, to innocence and experience, kindness and cruelty, love and hatred, humor and pathos. Today, it is regarded as a masterpiece of American literature. Another really popular classic is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I read this one in school as well. Don't remember it being this tiny, but I did read this one in school and I cried, so I'm sure I'm gonna cry again when I reread it. Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Like, why are all the ones that I was forced to read in school now being banned? I think it's important to learn. Some of the themes are natural man versus civilized society, the evils of slavery, the innate value and dignity of human beings, the stultifying effects of convention and other topics, and that it's filled with high adventure and unforgettable characters. I remember when flipping through, this was one of the books that I guess I annotated for school, so cannot wait to go back and see all of my annotations. But yeah, this is high up on the list, so I'm glad that I still own it. One of the more recent banned books in Texas specifically is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This one I've seen has been challenged a lot and has already been banned in some school districts, but it's one that I haven't read yet and I really want to. I picked it up sometime this year, but it says it's a remarkable novel about divine female power, a story that women will share and pass on to their daughters for years to come. And I know this one has a movie adaptation as well, so I cannot wait to read the book and then watch the movie. Another one that's been challenged a lot here in Texas is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I've been saying that I'm gonna read it for years and I haven't yet, so now is my chance. And when I looked this one up, it says it's not banned statewide, but it's been challenged a lot for concerns about its themes of decadence, homosexuality, and moral corruption. Those are all themes I'm excited to read about those, so I cannot wait for this one. One that I cannot believe is even being challenged in some states is The Chronicles of Narnia by S.C. Lewis. This, along with Harry Potter being challenged for like witchcraft and inappropriate for children, I personally think is insane, just because these are stories that I think a lot of my generation grew up with. So it makes me really sad that some places are trying to ban it. I'm happy to see that this isn't like a high priority on like the national banned list, but the fact that there are some places trying to get rid of these is crazy to me. I've never read the book, but I love the movies, so cannot wait to start this series. One of the things that's really concerning to me though regarding banned books is the discussion of banning the dystopian type of books. The banned book list though is crazy, so like I said, I'll leave it in the description if you guys want to check it out yourself. It does of course vary depending on where you live. The US is very different from other countries, and then of course in the US every state, even down to the school districts, have their own set of banned books. So these are just some of mine from where I live. Banned books have always been a thing though, unfortunately, so I think it's really important to read banned books. I'm so happy that I have an entire collection now that I could work my way through. I think out of all of these, the three that I'm most excited to read is A Clockwork Orange, The Bluest Eye, and that Octavia E. Butler one. So those are going on my immediate TBR. You'll probably see me include those in my December hopefuls, but that's pretty much it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know in the comments some of the banned books in your area, or if you've read any of the ones that I went over today and your thoughts on them. As always, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also make sure to subscribe to my shared channel Loranda Reads if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. One of the more silly bands. Silly bands? Do you remember Silly Bands? It's reminding me of that one scene in Scooby-Doo when he attempts to break out of prison and he thinks he can fly and he jumps off that cliff. Oh no, this is literally my tofu press. Cool. Okay, well, tofu for dinner tonight.